So. You want to be a dungeon master.
That's great. We're here to help. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Justin. This week, we're taking a deep look into villains, into evil adversaries, into big bad evil guys. That's right, gang. Episode 56 was BBEG 101. But in this episode, we're talking about the ins and the outs of having a mastermind behind your main conflict, such as their lair, their tactics, and what happens if they succeed. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. But first,
There's
got to be a bit first. Taylor, I have a quick game I want to try.
Sure.
Here's how this is going to work. We have a series of categories ahead of us. We'll go one by one, no rush. The first category is D&D monster.
Sure.
The way this will work is start thinking of a classic D&D monster in your head. It could be any of the classic D&D monsters. I'm also currently thinking of a D&D monster. Okay?
Wait. Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to count to 3. I'm going to go like this. It's going to be 3, 2, 1, and then you blab out the name of your monster. Okay?
Sure. All right.
And hopefully we don't get the same thing. We don't want to get the same thing. Okay?
Okay.
D&D monster on 3. 3, 2, 1. Gibbering
Tarrasque.
mouther. Okay. Amazing. You said Tarrasque. We're good. Okay. Next category is D&D spell.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Polymorph.
Call lightning.
Okay. I don't know if there's a delay, and because we're doing this virtually, you're saying it a little after me.
There's definitely a delay because I'm watching you, and as your finger is going down, I'm saying the word.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so polymorph, call lightning. We're good to go. It's gonna get harder as we go along. Less options.
Sure,
Next up is D&D class.
Okay.
D&D class.
Okay.
All right, I got one. 3, 2, 1. Fighter.
Monk.
That was close. Close. Marshall. Okay. Monk and fighter. We're good to go. Next up is a die shape. So
Are we
just a D,
calling
D,
whatever. Got it.
This is gonna be so much easier than being like
Yeah.
quadrihexal.
yeah.
I love that one. No, just no polygons, just the numbers.
Okay, got it.
D something.
Okay.
Let me think of one. Got one.
Mhm.
Oh god, this is gonna get risky. 3, 2, 1. D8. Ooh, close. Okay. This one is for all the marbles, Taylor. Now it's just heads or tails. Hold on, look at me. Mind meld. Got it. I just sent into your mind what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
So you do the opposite.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Tails. Damn it! So close! You were supposed to do the opposite of what I put in your head. Oh man, we almost made it. Gang, the podcast is over.
It's over. Yeah, we actually legally contract. We wrote it in. We got to disband the whole
Wrote it
thing
in.
right now.
Gang, if
Yeah.
you like these little silly games, let us know. I want to hear from you. Send us an email at soyouwannabedm@gmail.com. We have all different kinds of ideas. If you have ideas for silly little games, send them our way. Also, go check out the Patreon because there's all kinds of cool stuff in there. And if you're a member of any of the tiered levels that we have, you get extra access to different bonus content like the bonus action, extra podcast episodes, the action surge where we sit down with the casts of our actual plays after each session and talk to them. There's all kinds of homebrew content that is already out and will continue to come out. So go check out the Patreon. It supports us so much. If even half of the people who follow us for free became full-time $2 member, $2 a month people, my goodness, Taylor and I could breathe a little bit easier at night. So check out the Patreon, link in the description. Getting into the meat of the episode now. So in BBEG 101, we talked about all the basics. Again, that's episode 56. Go back and check that one out. We talked about motivation, like why is your villain doing the things? What's motivating them to do stuff? We talked about allies, like having generals, having minions, and different things. We talked about some of the logistics of like how are they going about their plan a little bit. We also talked about how to make villains feel unique so that not every Thanos feels the same,
Right.
so to speak. Now, expanding on that is the first thing I want to do, just like extra little details. That episode's 56. This is episode 139. So it's been a minute. So just expanding on some of the things that we already talked about in that episode rather than just redoing the whole episode.
Right.
For motivation, first and foremost, I think obviously there's hundreds of different motivations that a character can have.
Mhm.
Just to expand on some of those examples, because currently in the discourse, D&D is doing a lot of things as a company. Wizards, more accurately. Wizards is doing a lot of interesting things with D&D. Some good, some that I would argue are bad, but that's just my personal opinion and whatever. They're bringing back a lot of older settings
Right.
that had a lot of problematic themes throughout them. And now what the company is deciding to do is different than what some parts of the fan base are about. There are parts of the fan base, not everybody, parts of them that are like, oh no, they're going to make it woke and take away all the gritty, intense, hardcore stuff, which for them in that sentence usually refers to, not exclusively, but usually
Usually.
fantasy racism, eugenics, genocide, slavery, and all of these things that, in my experience, over the years of unlearning certain things and learning certain things, more accurately, listening to people of color of different backgrounds, et cetera,
Mm-hmm.
even though, yeah, they're orcs and they don't quote unquote exist, there's a lot of weird stuff behind the scenes that connects these things and
Yeah.
makes it very like problematic. And you get a lot of J.K. Rowling making goblins bankers with crooked noses and a greedy. And so
Right.
it's like there's a lot of just stuff that is best left alone. And if you're going to do it, it needs to be done with like research and dedication and respect and dignity. And I just don't know if many people are doing all of that when they consider
No,
this
I
just a simple hobby.
because what really winds up happening is that they find this vessel that kind of touches on the things that touches on these things, and it allows them to express it, and
Yeah.
that's where it gets
And
that's the
it's like,
problematic bit.
it's a nuanced thing
Yeah.
because it's like you talk to some people and they're like, no, 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 no. I don't want my character to have fantasy slaves or anything like that's crazy
Right.
that I would
Right.
never do that. I want to punch, I want to beat up, I want to kill the slave owner. And
Yeah.
it's like that's a great sentiment. And I appreciate you trying to make this distinction. I do.
Right.
My worry is that you're only doing this type of like stuff in the fantasy world, and it's like, where are you showing up for the minorities in the real life? And it's so
Right.
it's just a little like, hey brother, I get it, but it teach their own at the end of the day. And like, whatever, bro. I don't know, I'm not going to argue with racists all the time about why I think this is bad, but like it can get really frustrating at
But
times.
yeah, so
Eventually,
let's split it.
I have an idea for a video essay that I'm eventually going to make. That's going to take some time because my
Mhm.
God, there
Yeah.
was a discussion on that. Luckily, that's not what we're talking about today. I
No.
just want to offer some ideas of different things that can motivate a character, a villain, that aren't, I hate orcs because they're orcs.
Hmm.
For example, hurt people hurt people. Maybe the villain had a revenge plan and it got a little out of hand. It started as I'm going to kill the king because the king stole my babab. Like think of I'm go with me here. It's a little loose, but kind of like Sweeney Todd, right? He goes in with this revenge story, but he ends up killing like a lot of people
Right.
and like feeding them to the other people through pies. Like I'm not sure that's really what he intended, but it truly was like, hey man, I don't care. The ends justify the
Right.
means. And
Right.
that, not that Sweeney Todd is 100% a villain. That's what I mean though. You can look at the lens of like Killmonger. His dad gets killed by Black Panther's dad.
Hmm.
Uh, and then like completely ostracized. He has all of this like true historical reason for his belief systems. It gets a little out of control. It gets a little like, are we truly living up to our potential, or are we starting to be like, yeah, at this point, I don't care who gets hurt in the crossfires, da da da. You know what I mean? Like the casualties, the crossfire, it's all good. So I think that there's something interesting to be said about a character where you're like, oh, maybe at even Thanos, you can kind of be like, Thanos started, he's like, yeah, I just want to help people. I think that if we help people, now his idea is crazy. I'm going to
Hmm.
get rid of it rather than make twice the resources. I'm going to delete half the people. But like his idea is like that, because that happened to me. I was on a planet and I was like, guys, we can't do this anymore. The people are going to die because we don't have enough resources. And then people died. And he was like, oh, I feel guilty. So it's like hurt people, hurt people. I think that's an
Yeah.
idea. It's an oversimplification of that concept, but
Hmm.
for villains' sakes, for D&D, I think it works. Another idea is just some people want to watch the world burn. I think that like there's a time and a place where you could put a lot of time into your villains' motivations and their like whole personalities and stuff. And
Hmm.
sometimes it can just be like, I mean, I've seen it in TV shows and stuff, and I've never shied away from that, or like it's never turned me away from the show because the villain wasn't super deep. But the idea of
I
like,
mean,
yeah, we're trying to summon a chaos god that's going to destroy the whole fucking universe.
right.
That happens in fantasy movies and TV shows where
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
point, is to end it all. It happened in Dimension 20's the Ink one, but Never After.
Hmm.
The princesses, spoilers, their whole purpose is to just end it all.
Right.
So like some obviously they have their purpose. It's not just I want to watch the world burn. It's because like, oh well, I keep coming back as these other versions, and if as long as the authors are exist, then we can't have a true freedom. So let's just kill everything.
Right.
So like, but that's enough of a motivation to be like, well, we have to stop them. Even if I agree with their sentiment, I don't want the entire universe to end. That's crazy.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You know? Not to mention there are, I'm sure you can think of a ton in like Naruto, Bleach, whatever. There's tons of anime character tropes where a character loves just the fight.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? They just
Yeah.
love like, oh, you're strong? Hell yeah. Let's do this. Or like there's that video game that just recently came out, and there's a there's
So
not famous, but
the
like a
the
viral
first.
cutscene from that one. I don't know
Mhm.
what the game is even, but there's just a weird creature, and the guy's like, he's like, I will not go with you again. He's like, there's gonna be fighting. He's like, there's gonna be fighting there. All right, I'm in. And it's just that's so classic. I can think of
Right.
so many different anime characters who kind of have that,
Mhm.
where it's just the character Luck from Black Clover is kind of like that, where they're like they're not interested in fighting weak characters. You know what I mean? Like a weak character comes up and they're like, I'm not even gonna fight you. Like you're nothing. But if you a character that's way too powerful comes up and they're like, hell yeah, this is it. This is what keeps me alive. I think that's a really fun. So you can have villains who are truly just like, I want to fight the strongest out there. And right now, that's the adventuring party. And I'm willing to fight whoever to the death in order to just keep being a badass and keep winning these fighting tournaments or whatever. I think that's
Mhm.
super plausible. I don't know. But uh
You're muted.
sorry about that. Then there's also logistics about
Hmm.
how this villain is going to go about things, how the evil people are enacting their plans, how they're operating day to day. The slow takes sometimes that it takes. Sometimes it's a plan that takes time and patience. Sometimes it's a plan that has a like a nexus point, if you will, or a catalyst of some kind. So easiest thing I can tell newer DMs when you're trying to think of like, okay, I have a villain, they want to take over the world. How are they going to take over the world? Pull from media. Easiest thing you can do. because you can combine multiple things. That way, your players aren't like, "Oh, this is the plot of this movie," or whatever. Oh,
Right.
you're Darth Vader. Got it. Like, pull some Star Wars and then shape it with a little bit of like, I don't know, Lord of the Rings or something. Just like, and then you can make it your own.
Yeah.
Some examples. I mean, I think about Skynet. I think about the Terminator movies and how that was not like an intentional. It was a slow process. Obviously, that franchise plays with
That's
time
kind of
travel.
starting right now. So everybody go out
Yeah,
and I don't
and
think I
punch a
can
flock
legally
camera in
say
the
this.
face.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, I don't think I can legally say this, but go cut down a flock camera or two. I don't know. There's a town in I think it was Wyoming or Minnesota or something, somewhere out west, where like in one night the whole town got together, cut down all of the flock cameras in
It's
town,
a beautiful
every single
thing.
one of them, and then everybody just I am Spartacus the thing, and nobody's saying a word, nobody's talking to any cops. Like literally, the whole system got
Yeah,
taken down in a night.
yeah,
Nobody knows anything.
exactly. I didn't see
Go-
anything. I
Yeah,
didn't see anything. In fact, I don't even know if that really happened, Taylor.
I that's
Actually, I think that might be fake news. So I didn't see nothing.
I didn't see
Um,
any.
that
Actually,
being
that whole
said,
town was over at my house having dinner that night.
yeah. I am the alibi.
Yeah.
So Skynet is a good example. You can slowly put things in that are very subtle at first and then slowly build them up. I'm doing that currently in a game with some players. Hey, Chang family, stop listening to this episode if you're listening right now. So here's what I'm doing, Taylor. I put in because they're right now they're in Daggerford, a
Okay.
town near Waterdeep. I'm using Forgotten Realms, but I've homebrewed the fuck out of it. It's barely recognizable other than the names. But they're in there, and I've introduced a shop called, it's a nautical theme shop called We See You,
Hmm.
SEA. But they sell like, here's a necklace that can stop people from scrying on you. Here's a scroll of arcane eye. Like it's all divination and anti-divination magic items.
Hmm.
Because I'm already planting the seeds for something that's going to happen way later in Daggerford, which is mass surveillance. And now I'm just planting the seed. So I've created Skynet, but Skynet
Right.
has not created the T2 or whatever, right?
Right.
Like
Right.
we're just in the infancy stage.
Mhm.
Uh Megamind is a really fun one. I love that children's movie, DreamWorks, I think, maybe, but it's just so good. I don't know if you've ever seen Megamind. Highly
It's been a
recommend.
while. So my brain went to like something about stealing the moon, and then I remember that's Despicable
Oh,
Me,
that's just, yeah. No,
which
Megamind is big brain,
big, yeah,
bluish
the Will
skin, Will
Ferrell,
Ferrell.
yeah.
And
I think I've seen
in
it like
that
one time in on like TV as I was walking in and out of
yeah,
a room.
it's
So parts of it.
there's crazy. So
Oh
the
my God.
beautiful thing about that movie in particular is the villain isn't the villain. He starts
Right.
that way, but he
Mhm.
has a huge redemption story as he gets bored being the villain, spoilers, invents a superhero. The superhero becomes a villain, and then he has to become the hero. And it's this
Mm.
beautiful, interesting weaving of things. So imagine that. Imagine having a character in your setting who was the demon killer. They slayed Asmodeus, then got bored or something, and then they turn into a villain. Like that's an interesting story. You
Mhm.
have all these people being like, "No, I followed the hero's journey this whole time, and now he's evil." And da-da-da. Or that, oh, it's just so interesting. That could be really fun. Also, Jafar.
Yeah.
Jafar from Aladdin has an interesting villain tactic.
The
Very like, I
Twisted
can't touch
Advisor.
the item I need.
Right.
Well, yes, there's multiple facets to it. He plays
Yeah.
the evil advisor to the Sultan, aka the king, aka the ruler of that land. He wants to be the ruler. How can he do that? He can't just usurp, he can't just kill the man, all these other things. He has to be really creative about it. And then he hears about this magic item, something that
Mhm.
easily can fit in D&D, right? I mean, lamps literally do. Magic lamps
Literally,
literally
they
do.
literally
Yeah,
do.
my players have in a freebie bottle right now. But like the thing is he can't touch it. So he needs to get the street rat. He needs to get Aladdin to go grab it because they need to be a diamond in the rough, pure of heart, blah, blah, blah. And so that's a really interesting plan. We've talked about that in the past of having the quest giver be the villain.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to go get this thing. It's very powerful, and we don't want it to fall into the wrong hands. Oh no, those are my hands.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? They're
Right,
one
right,
and the same.
right.
So there's like really interesting things. Can you think of any villains from movies or TV shows that where you're like, oh, the way they did it was kind of interesting? I know I'm putting you on the spot right now.
Yeah. The way they did it was so. All right, this one is crazy weird. It's the first outrageous BBEG plot I've come across. Have you seen the Chronicles of Riddick?
Oh, I saw the first one forever
Okay.
ago, but I could not
So
even
so
pretend
anyway,
to tell you anything.
basically the God King Emperor dude gets a prophecy that his like vanquisher is going to come from this one planet. So he goes to the planet and he has these weird like spirit powers, and he basically went and killed all the babies on the planet using spirit
Yeah.
powers and killed them in the womb. But
Yeah.
all of that is to say he wiped out a whole planet of people, but he missed one dude, and now that dude is so mad that he actually winds up coming back and fulfilling the prophecy and killing him. So it's one of those like
A
cat's
little
paw,
biblical.
or like yeah,
A little biblical.
self-fulfilling prophecy, if you will. If he had done nothing, maybe nothing would have happened. He probably
Right.
would have
That's so
been fine.
Raven. That's
Right,
so Riddick.
right.
Wow. Look at
Yeah,
us. Okay. Love that example. Great pull. Vin Diesel,
yeah.
also known for his role in Saving Private Ryan. And
Mm-hmm.
no other movies is he known
No other
from.
movie. He hasn't been in
Moving
anything
on.
else. He's in the Riddick series. He was in Saving Private Ryan, and that is it.
And that's it. So there's also
This is
allies. We talked about that
brilliant.
in episode 56. Um, the only addition I'll say to this, because we need to get into the real stuff of this episode, is it doesn't need to be a singular villain. There's
Yeah.
nothing that says it needs to be just one person. It could be a duo, a trio, a quartet. Think about the four horsemen of the apocalypse. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean you can't make one more powerful than the others, right? Like, but you could, in theory. I've done that. We did that with the Trace Visoras, and I think it was really fun because it gave you guys an interesting opportunity to try and split them up, to try and kill them one by one. You had to get more creative. Whereas if it's a singular villain, the options are a little bit less. Obviously, you want to
Right.
separate them from their minions and their top guards or whatever, but like it is different, right? Like the dragon fight of like, where are we going to do the dragon fight is like probably the lair.
Yeah.
Versus these guys, it was like, they don't have a lair. They've taken over this other town. So they're foreigners here. They don't know all the ins and outs like one of our players did. It's just beautiful. It worked out awesome. So I switch it up every once in a while and have there be like a team of BBEGs. It's really, really interesting. Now, I want to hear about your BBEG gang. If you have a BBEG in your game, I want to hear about it. And it could be referenced in one of these future episodes. So send us an email at soyouwanttobeadm@gmail.com. I just want to know who's your villain. What's their name? What's their motivation? How are they going about shit? Who's their best friend? Do they have a best friend? Or are they lonely? Are they Mr. Lonely? I'm about to sing an Akon song and we're going to get demonetized. Okay, moving on. The
We
lair.
have to be monetized first.
Hey, we make money. Technically, make money, Taylor. We just got a huge paycheck from Twitch.
We did just get a
And
huge
since
paycheck from
we have
Twitch.
shut off the AI opt-in bullshit.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
Fuck
Twitch. Okay, the lair.
Okay.
So the lair is the
Yeah.
villain's headquarters, so to speak. Where is this motherfucker? Where does he live? Let's roll up on him. Let's burn his house down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the question is, first of all, does the villain even have an HQ?
Right.
Right? When you're starting to think of your villain, that's something you can start to put in there. Now, an interesting thing in our home setting, you don't have one. That's never been a thing. I never even thought about it for a second. He's such a high, powerful demon. Like from the get-go, you guys couldn't face him until you were around this level anyway, which is 15 to 18. So like there's no point in me even thinking of a lair because it's like you guys can't fight him, and I will put in every roadblock to the point of me going, guys above board, don't go to his lair.
Right.
So like it wasn't going to happen. I didn't need to think of one, but a lot of characters do. A lot of villains do. Right?
Mhm.
Strahd has a castle. Dragons have lairs. Sometimes it can be in another plane of existence, or sometimes it can be hidden amongst the people. Right?
Mm.
Like the noble who is secretly a vampire lord or something like that.
Right.
Right? Frankenstein, or not Frankenstein, excuse me. Jekyll and Hyde a little bit.
Okay.
Pretty hidden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
During the day, they're like, we can't find this Hyde guy anywhere. Jekyll's like, I know. He's a ghost. I haven't seen him in days. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
So there's some really interesting ways of just like, where does your villain chill when they're not fucking things up?
Mhm. I'd also like to submit for the gallery Howl's Moving Castle. It's another fun one. Giant
Really, really
steampunk castle spider thing that crawls over land. That's a pretty good way to keep it mobile so that your party can't get to it
Yeah.
early. You know?
Exactly. Which brings us actually right into our next point, which is like, if for some reason you're in that situation where your party is gung ho, they want to fuck up this villain because they've heard about what they do, what they're about. They're like, we want to kill this guy. But you're like, okay, well, unless I nerf the villain completely and we just end the campaign early, you guys cannot handle this villain. Like, it's just not going to happen, right? There's several steps you as a DM can take without necessarily stealing their agency or anything. Obviously, a conversation out of character and just being like, guys, straight up, you can't fight this guy.
Yeah.
You'll die. Like, it's not even going to be fun. But in game, in the story, you can use a lot of story elements to kind of help you out in this regard. One of them, like Taylor said, is maybe the lair moves. It could be a constantly moving airship. It could be like on the back of a giant sea dragon turtle, whatever. Or it could be a moving castle with spider legs and stuff. All different kinds of things. Baba Yaga's hut. Like, there's millions of different ideas, right? You could also just make the lair
castle in the clouds.
A cloud castle would be a great idea. Cloud giants, all kinds of shit. Also, you can make the lair just very far away.
Right.
Like it's in another plane of existence that you guys can't go to, or the plane itself is inherently so dangerous, like going to the hells.
Right.
It's like nobody's like, we're level 3. Let's pop in. Like, unless you're a brand new player and you don't know
20 minutes.
But like most players are like, yeah, probably not gonna go to the 9 hells at this level. I can't even make 2 attacks on my turn.
Right.
Maybe the lair's hidden. Maybe it's in plain sight, but it's just hidden. It's a secret kind of thing. That. Maybe it's a port key situation. Maybe it's a hidden portal. Maybe it's an imaginary wall or an illusory wall kind of thing hidden in the castle keep or whatever. Millions of ideas. Also, you could put some guards in place. Put some guards in place that represent the difficulty. That way the party can try, but they're going to learn. And maybe they take one out, but now they have a better idea.
This would go good with like a Jafar-ish type villain, like somebody who is high up in the court, maybe making a play on the throne or something like that. It would make sense that he has a manor that's stuffed full of guards as well.
Yeah, like, absolutely. I mean, even in Aladdin, the movie, like, he has the police under his thumb.
Right.
So it's like a perfect example. But you could like, that idea of like, okay, I want to go take out Thanos. Well, it's like, okay, dude, first you have to take out like a couple people before him. Right. And those people are going to kick your ass unless you're at the right level. Right. Like that one random dude who's like, I've been working for Thanos forever. And he just has like telekinesis, excuse me.
Yeah.
Like, that guy's a badass.
He would wipe the floor with the early level party. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, truly, that's my point, is like, you can introduce him to be like, this guy's not even as powerful as the BBEG, and he's kicking your ass.
Right.
That way the party can be like, okay, now I'm seeing it. I'm witnessing it. I'm feeling it firsthand. Just a quick note here before we move on to some basic lair mechanic stuff. Another great reason that if you're going to have a main villain, but you don't want the party to go after them too soon, introducing generals I think naming a minion just infinitely makes them more important.
Mhm.
At least they feel more important if they've got a name.
Right.
And they can be targets instead. You could also make the villain's identity, the location, the purpose less obvious so that there's many steps before just being like, oh, Strahd's castle's right there. Let's just go kill him. Which, like, I'm sure that book, I've never actually read the book of Strahd, but like, I'm sure the book's like, here's what happens if the players do that. Or like,
Right.
here's like the mechanics of the castle. Like, okay, cool. You try and enter the castle early. There's a trap, and the trap does 1,000 damage or something. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
Instantly
yeah,
full
low
dead. You
levels will
turn into
die.
a zombie. You belong to Strahd now.
You're
No,
a thrall forever.
yeah. I had a point. It's gone.
If
It's gone. We should just move on.
you think of it, bring it back. So, lair actions are an interesting mechanic in combat that are very specific. Now, normally they're reserved for legendary monsters, but that's not always true. Sometimes a monster doesn't have legendary actions or resistances, but they get a lair. And sometimes the reverse is true too, where they get a lair, but they don't have like all different kinds of things. I've seen legendary monsters that don't have lairs, and I've seen non legendary monsters have lairs. But ordinarily, they kind of go one and the same, right? All the ancient dragons, all the adult dragons, even
Yeah.
have both of those things. So that's common, which is just like, cool. Now you have legendary actions and legendary resistances. You got to remember those. But also, here's a lair action. Now, lair actions aren't that complicated because they should only happen once a turn.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only so many options, but it is another thing. It's just another thing you got to remind yourself.
Yeah. It is very easy to skip over the lair action in combat. I know you've done it. I've done it. Every DM on the planet has done it. If you do it, just know that you're treading in very well-worn paths. Everybody does it.
Treading in paths.
Yes.
No, you're right. You're
Yeah,
absolutely right.
You,
It's
you know
so
what I'm saying?
common.
Like everybody does it. So don't beat yourself up about it. Just you put it on the initiative tracker. Make sure that you're paying
That's a
attention to
huge
it.
tip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make sure you're using an initiative tracker and that the layer action is delineated layer.
It just gets its own thing. Yeah. Because the
Yeah.
way that it works is it always falls on initiative, or if you're going straight up by the rules, it goes on initiative 20 and it loses any ties with players.
Right.
So, like, if a player gets a 20 on their initiative, then they would go first and then the lair action. But it always just goes on 20. So, when you're writing everybody's initiative down or using an initiative tracker, however you do it, I do pen and paper and I just use the lines on a notebook and I just go down the list like boom, boom, boom. And that's the
You write
list. This person goes and
sideways
then
on
this
the
person goes.
paper.
This is
You
because
are
it's on the back of the sheet.
Sure.
On the front of the sheet, I usually write normal, but on the back of the sheets, when it's just like, I'm just going to use this whole page for combat.
Okay, buddy. Sure.
How dare you? Anyway,
the
basic idea here is just like you have home turf advantage as that monster. It's your lair. This is your home. So you get this incredible, cool thing that you can control because that's the important thing. And I maybe when I first started using really powerful monsters, I didn't fully understand this. The lair owner that monster, they're deciding which lair action happens and to whom, if anyone gets hit. So it's not just like, okay, the lair is just spontaneously doing stuff on its own, right? Like, the dragon is saying, I want a sand spout to hit that player. That's the way all of the books reference it. It says the monster chooses which lair action and who it hits. So it's just an extension of the monster in that regard. So when you're the DM and you're going, okay, cool. So I have this lair action that it blinds a couple of people if they fail save. I got this lair action that does a little bit of damage to one person. It's like you get to pick.
Right.
It's not just like, I mean, obviously I've done this before too, where I'm like, I'll just roll a dice so that I don't feel bad. Picking on people. But sometimes it's like at a certain level, you're like, no, we're going to hit the healer again and again and again and again. I'm so sorry about that.
Every single time.
So it depends. It
Okay,
depends. You know what I mean? Like I do a lot of like who did the most damage the recent round.
Right.
Sometimes I'll do that. We have entire episodes on how you decide who to target. So go check out monster and combat episodes. You'll find a lot of tips on that kind of stuff. Um, Usually you can't use the same lair action twice in a row. That's
Mhm.
usually written in there somewhere. And then the other thing is that when the main monster dies, the lair actions stop.
Right.
Regional effects take a while. It'll be like 1d4 days or months or whatever until they wear off.
Right.
But lair actions stop like immediately. So
Mhm.
if the monster dies and somehow it goes back to the top because there's still minions running around, those lair
The
actions
lair actions
should
are done.
stop.
Yeah.
And lair actions are a great way as a DM sometimes to like turn up the heat or turn down the heat because you can be like, weird, you guys stopped all the lair actions from happening or something. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like there's like
Yeah.
it's an easy thing. Or if like you forget it for a couple rounds, I've done this. You forget it for a couple rounds, and then there's a part of your brain that's like, oh, for consistency's sake, I should just stop doing lair. I should never do lair actions because I forgot the couple first rounds. That's not true.
No.
You can have them kick in at any point. If you forget them a
Mhm.
couple of rounds, don't feel bad. Just kick them up the next round. I've done
Mhm.
that even with legendary actions where like couple people's turns go and I
It's
forget,
like,
and then it's like
I feel like I'm not doing
he's taking
enough
a
right
legendary
now.
action every chance he gets. And then it's gonna be
Yeah.
his turn again. He's gonna get them all back. Uh-oh,
Yep.
sorry, gang. I guess I am gonna use the one that says burns all three legendary actions because I forgot until now.
Oh,
So
well.
we are gonna do a prismatic spray on this whole thing or whatever it is. So a lot of fun ideas for caverns and for lairs. I think most of the time, like depending on how true to the monster manual you want to get, there's so much information in there, whether it's
Mhm.
the pre-written lore about some of these monsters or even just what lair actions they assign to that monster can give you an idea of what that lair looks like, right? You can kind of reverse engineer a little bit. When you look at a blue dragon, they get a lot of sand themed lair actions. So you can kind of be like, okay, sand is in there somewhere. Now
Right.
you could stay again, super true and be like, they're often found in deserts and that kind of stuff. So you can put it in a desert cavern. You can put it at the bottom of a sinkhole in the middle of the
Mhm.
desert, whatever, right? But also, as long as there's sand there, you can kind of play with some stuff too. Maybe you're in an ancient library like the Avatar one. I could never
Yeah.
remember that specific name of that library, but
Wan Shi Tong's library.
yeah. But maybe it's sinking. Maybe the sand
Mhm.
is falling in. You know, millions of different ways you can
Yeah.
design a blue dragon's lair while not having to necessarily reflavor all the lair actions. Although you could.
Yeah.
Okay, this effect blinds people. That could be a million things. It could be a bright light. It could be sand in the eyes. It could be poison. It could be acid. Like you can reflavor it a million different ways. So I've often thought that way of like, let me look at the layer actions and that'll help me design where this is going to go down. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Perfect. So moving right along, villain tactics. How is your villain trying to accomplish their goal? What is their goal? Do they have any ideals or boundaries? Is there anything that they're not, or excuse me, that they're not willing to compromise on? I think those are important little things to think about. Just as like
Mhm.
it could be an interesting thing of just being like, yeah, my villain has a code. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you've seen that all the time. Like there are random villains who like don't do anything to kids specifically because maybe as a kid they had their own trauma, so that it's just like a thing in their head. You know?
Mhm.
Trying to think of others. Obviously, Magneto has his own code, right? Like he's not
Yeah.
trying to hurt
Yeah.
mutants as much if he can help it
Right.
because he just places mutants above humans a little bit because of the whole history of that show and the allegories therein.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I think it's interesting just to think about all of those things. Like, what is your villain willing to do? Is there anything that they're not willing to do?
Mhm.
How are they going about getting this plan accomplished? And this is where I put the little note. Session zeros are so important, gang.
They are.
They're
They really
so
are.
important to just talk to one
This is
another.
one of those things, especially because you're talking about to a lot right now of what the focus of the campaign is going to be on when you're dealing with the big bad in general. Make sure that we're not you know, doing things that are making people uncomfortable at the table, or, making it so that, you are intentionally stepping on people's triggers for
Hmm.
certain things,
Yeah, because you never know.
you
Sometimes
don't.
you need to talk about things and the uncomfortable subjects, even if you're not going to like go into detail talking about why somebody has a boundary, which is not necessary most of the time. Just sending out that kind of checklist, safety
Hmm.
checklist, is huge, so helpful. So I would urge everybody to just have those basic conversations of like, hey, we're not going to talk about X, Y, and Z. So again, if we have a villain and they have a plan, how are they doing that plan? Again, I bring us back to our very beginning conversation when it comes to logistics and just thinking about media. That's where I get all
Hmm.
like so many of my ideas. Anytime I'm feeling burnout, I turn on a TV show or something weird. Everything from like, I just watched the movies The Long Walk, Stephen King
Oh, that was
book
good.
turned
That was
into
a
a
good one.
movie.
Yeah.
You saw the movie?
Yeah.
It was good. It was good. I have strong feelings about a couple of things because of its annoying relevance to today,
Right.
but that's more political than it is like a cinematic
Hmm.
critiques, right?
Hmm.
Oof, I was just mad at little
Yeah.
things, but I love
Yeah.
that the
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
was very good, and I thought they did an awesome job at like the isolating feeling of it. Even though they're walking for
Hmm.
so long, they're spanning. We stay with them.
Yeah.
We barely go even see the mom.
Right.
There's like a flashback or two, and that's it. We're with
Right.
these boys for the whole fucking movie. We don't even the soldiers barely even you barely even see it one of the other soldiers' faces. Like you,
Yeah.
it's just them, and I love the way they did that.
Hmm.
I also saw Nirvana, the band, the movie, the show, or whatever.
I didn't see that one.
Awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Eh, Watch it. Watch it. Okay, it's
Fair enough.
so good. Nirvana spelled incorrectly, three N's. The first one, and then two in the middle. Nirvana. Uh,
Okay.
the band, the show, the movie. Specifically the movie one, but it's the whole title. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah. Yeah.
whole behind the scenes. I don't know, but it was fucking awesome. So I've
Kind
been
of
watching
like
these movies and it just
if
like
you would have.
it's just enough,
Hmm.
right? To be like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's a cool idea. Oh, what if we did this, right?
Hmm.
And tonight we're playing D&D and we're using Jackbox as the chance telling system instead of dice
Yeah.
for a very specific thing that we're doing. And that's fucking awesome. I genuinely can't wait. So all different kinds of cool, and we're playing a game of slip it in at the same time. The fucking phrases I gave you guys, maybe I'm laughing so hard. This will come out afterwards. Taylor, when I gave you the one of just thinking about it's making me laugh. Taylor has to try and slip in phrases during our D&D game tonight. And one of them is, oh, the horse's name was Friday. And that one makes me laugh so hard. And don't worry, all the other ones have like the other players also have like ones where it's like you can't just say it.
Right.
You have to like plant
Set
some
it up.
seeds.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Like if at any point Allie just goes, Mr. Rogers was okay, I guess. Like you'll know because just out of
Right.
nowhere. So
Right.
like there's some really funny ones, but I think it's gonna cause some just chaos, and I'm looking forward to it. Speaking of evil plans, because that's my evil plan is just to have funny things. Because I know what everyone's being forced to say, but it's gonna be really funny. Taylor and I are also gonna try that. I have Allie writing us phrases for podcast
Mm-hmm.
episodes where you and I have to slip in phrases that Allie writes us. That's a whole nother thing. But we talked about Thanos. How does he go about it? Right?
Right.
He number one, he believes he's doing a good thing, even though his logic sucks. But okay, he's got a lot of guys working under him. Some really powerful guys too, right? Some
Hmm.
of them actually are so powerful that they're like, fuck Thanos, I want to do my own thing. There's that one dude, the blue guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. Can't think of his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But the interesting thing about Thanos is that he really, especially for the first couple of movies, obviously part of that has to do with like the MCU. But still, if
Hmm.
you just think of Thanos this way, he works in the background.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Kingpin in that way a little bit, right? He's very like Kaiser Soze. It's very
Yeah.
like rumored, like, oh, I work for Thanos. And you're like, Thanos, I've heard that. I've only heard that name before. I've never seen him before. Is he even real? That kind of like mythology of it. I kind of like that a lot. Um, he's also just collecting the stones. The whole premise is like he's not actually like hey, I got to go annihilate this planet. His whole shtick is just, I need to get the stones. Once I get the stones,
Right.
my plan can go. So if for some reason everybody in the universe was like, okay, here are the stones, he wouldn't have killed anybody before the snap, right? Like, he's
Yeah.
only hurting people because he needs the stones and they're trying to stop him from getting the stones. But like, I don't know if he would necessarily go out of his way to kill people if everybody was like, you can have the stones. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Now he's still going to kill people because of the snap, but I don't know. It's an interesting thing.
It
Also,
wasn't he wasn't generally killing out of malice. It was only out of necessity for the most part. Like his
right,
whole
at least in
shtick,
his head.
in
Again, this
his
is all like,
yeah, this is in his weird fucked up mentality. He was not doing it because he hated the people. He's doing it because
right.
it had to be done. in his
Yes, this is why we hate ICE, because they're
Right.
not doing it for any good reason. They pretend like it's, oh, no, it's because of these good reasons. And it's like, no,
we're
it's
protecting the
racism.
borders. No, you're being a
Yeah,
racist.
yeah.
You're being an
No.
asshole.
You're just checking people who have a different skin color.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. Fuck
You
ICE.
found a
Abolish
job
them and then
where they
prosecute
gave
them.
you a fucking gun and you went, oh yay.
Oh, yeah, a signing bonus that I'll get in 50 years.
Right.
As long as I keep being racist. I fucking hate them.
Anyway. Yeah, we
honestly,
should probably move on.
Dude,
We should
Nuremberg
probably move
2.0,
on.
I'm going to be in the front fucking row when they try these motherfuckers, because I'm so far
I
past
wish.
abolishing. I'm
I
at
wish.
prosecuting. Like,
Yeah.
oof. Anyway, so Thanos, he's also on a ship. He's very mobile, right? So another thing that he's got going for him.
This is
Jafar,
one of those
we
things
mentioned him. He's got to get a random guy to retrieve
Yep.
a super powerful magic item because he can't get it himself. His plan is truly just like, I need that magic item, same as the stones. Once I get the item, I can do what I want. Right? A little different than Thanos, though. He wants to be ruler.
Yeah.
He wants to rule over them. Thanos succeeds and doesn't rule over them.
Right. He just is like, okay, cool. It's done.
I'm a farmer now. Like truly, I think it goes to show the efficacy of his motivation.
Right.
He genuinely was motivated by trying to do the right thing. I'm using bunny ears for our audio listeners. But and then we have a different character altogether, Pennywise the Dancing Clown. Now, this ancient entity from space, he feeds off souls and shit. That's his fucking motivation, right? Like, I'm sure you could go to greater depth. I'm not going to like break down all of Stephen King's universe, but like essentially he's killing people to eat their souls and shit, right? Like, there might be a deeper thing, but that's kind of the baseline.
Yeah, no.
Now, it's pretty easy as a DM to find a compelling reason to get your players to be like, you guys should kill this thing.
Yeah.
Because he's killing things for fun and for food.
Right.
That's bad. Right? Like if there was a massive monster in the woods that was just like killing the town, you'd be like, okay, let's go kill this.
About doing it too is actually also super fucking brutal and disgusting. So yeah.
That's his method, right? So we have like his motivation is one thing. How does he do that? He's you can kind of go very broad and just say he's killing people. How is he killing people? He uses deception, trickery. He uses the fact that kids go missing all the time.
Right.
Especially so he can use that cover.
Movie, like the 80s.
Exactly. So there's like so much. It's just like, it's genuinely a genius plan of just like kids go missing, especially the time period that the movie takes place in, or the OG, like the 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
Like
pre cell phones, like anything, any kind of monitoring. You got kicked out of the
Stranger
house.
Danger.
Yeah, you got kicked out of the house when the sun came up, and you weren't allowed to come back in until the sun came down.
Yeah, so all of those things, and then look at any movie with supercomputer AI or whatever.
Oh yeah,
they're just following orders, right? It's just you told the computer save humanity, and they were like, I have to save humanity from itself.
Right.
And then boom, now we get the movie Eagle Eye. We get the movie I, Robot. We get the movie, which I know is based off a book. I've never read the book I, Robot. I've only seen the Will Smith movie.
Right. Yeah,
but like every fucking movie, one is the same. And then you have Sam Altman, this dumb fucking idiot. I will fight him one day. Sam Altman better not see me on the street, dog. I'm going to punch him.
On sight.
And that's a promise. Okay. Now, our last point. What happens if the BBEG succeeds?
Yeah.
Now, some people might be afraid of this. Dungeon masters and players alike, right? Because I think a lot of times you go into D&D as a whole. I'm making a generalization here. I'm not talking about like players who have been doing it for a while, more newer players, newer DMs. You go into it being like, almost like when you watch a Disney superhero movie, you're like, well, they're going to win. Obviously,
Right.
Infinity War showed us that that's maybe not always true, but you get what I'm
Right,
saying.
right. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
like in your head, you're like, they're going to win, right? Like I'm watching Megamind, I'm watching like Jafar and Disney, Aladdin, like they're going to win. They're the heroes. The heroes are
Right,
always going to win.
right.
So you almost become to this expectation. Now, again,
Yes.
that's not true for
But
everything. There's
but
so many
but so
stories where that's not the
even
case, but
even the but though even going to the Jafar plot that we've been following this whole time, Aladdin doesn't win against Jafar the first time they meet.
right.
Aladdin loses badly, and then comes
Yeah.
back later and wins. But
Right.
like
He
he
does succeed
loses
for
at
a little
first.
bit. Yeah,
He
I know he
loses.
becomes a
Yeah.
sorcerer. He becomes
Yeah.
an all-powerful genie or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
The most
yeah,
powerful
no, it's
sorcerer in the
crazy.
world. Yeah. The
It's
Sultan.
crazy.
Yeah. Jafar
You're
wins.
right. You're totally right. That's my
So,
point.
and
Is
that,
just
yeah.
because they win a battle doesn't mean that they necessarily need to win the entire war, aka
Mhm.
the end of the campaign.
Right.
So like, okay, my villain is trying to, I mean, in our home game, that's an easy example because we have
Mm.
this villain. He turns out he's appearing as a human who can just use powerful magic at first. Then we find out he's actually a duke from hell who says, fuck you, Asmodeus, I'm doing my own thing. So he comes to the material plane, he starts enacting this plan. 2 years go by before we meet the party. So
Mhm.
I have that's all backstory stuff, right? Then we get to what is his plan? He wants to take over the Sword Coast. That's why the whole campaign is called the Sword Coast Coup. But
Mhm.
the way he's doing it is infiltrating every branch of government. He's doing it very slowly, very methodically, and then there will be a day where it just pops off. A
Right.
blitzkrieg nearly effect, kind of, where it's just all going to happen on this one day.
Mhm.
And that's what happens. The play, and he and myself, because I'm the one creating the BBEG, but it is one of those things of like, this is what that villain would do. Sent the party to a different town to save that town, which did
Right.
need saving. Without the party, they would have died.
Right.
However, it was a distraction to get the party out of Waterdeep. That way, we can all attack Waterdeep, and the adventurers aren't even there. Other powerful people are there, but they're getting smoked. And so he succeeds. He took over Waterdeep. His people are taking over Tribor. His people are taking over Yarder slowly. They're taking over Daggerford. There's people who are on the move to Mornbryn Shield. Nesme is the only safe place, and that's because that's where you guys had to go to be distracted.
Right.
So now what? Now we just take back those towns
Mhm.
one by one. We've been going town to
Yeah.
town, liberating the
We
town,
have
giving
our
it back to the people, killing all
yeah.
those generals and knights of Cancer is what we call them.
We're
So it's
getting
just,
our anime level up moments of,
yeah,
stepping up power scaling
yeah,
until
we're
we're
in the
at that point.
hyperbolic
Yeah.
chamber right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're getting gravity trained. So yeah, there's all different kinds of cool things that you can do if the villain succeeds. I think depending on their plan and how they go about it, I mean, it could be as simple as just rescuing the town and the people. Hey, they
Mhm.
took over this town. We got to take the town back. How does that
Mhm.
look? There's all different ways you can describe how that happens. Depends on who the villain is and how they would go about it. I had the benefit of like, they're taking over like 5 different towns, right? So I wanted to do it
Right.
in a different way for each town. Trace Visuras had their way of doing it because of who they are. They're super powerful sorcerers, but they're not all powerful. They can't do everything, and they can't necessarily use the most brute force, which is why they just
Right.
left so many people alive and just kind of still doing their thing. And we're like, come for the town meeting or we'll burn your house down with magic. Because they can't just like beat people up, right? They're like skinny
Right.
sorcerers. Whereas what's happening in Daggerford is like a mass surveillance. We have aberrations who have like icon magic things that can just detect magic really quickly. Like it's like a high surveillance state, Big Brother
Right.
style.
Mhm.
What's happening in Mornbryn Shield is totally different. So it's like I did it differently in each one, right? Yarder was taken over by a dragon, so it was just inherently different. So each one
Right.
felt
Yeah,
very
yeah.
different because I didn't want you guys to get bored going, okay, we're going to have to take back that town and then take back this town and then take back this town. I wanted each one to feel very unique, even though the crux is the same. You're still just,
Right.
all you're trying to do is save the town. But then, like, maybe the story starts when the villain has already succeeded, like in Strahd. He's
Mhm.
already the head of Barovia, right? Like his
Right,
biggest
right.
goal then is just let me kidnap this girl because he's a fucking incel. But like, whatever, dude. Grow up. Buy some lady of flowers. I don't understand. Arena doesn't like you, dude. Fucking creep. He probably owns meta glasses.
He
Guaranteed,
does.
dude. Strahd
100%.
absolutely has meta glasses. You
Mm.
fucking creepazoid. Woof. Okay. If you're a content creator and
Total crypto,
you just
bro.
at the drop of a hat, when people were like, here's some money, will you make an ad for this creepy Big Brother glasses? And you said yes. Shame on you. You disgust me. Okay. Uh Also, hey, the villain succeeded. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Guess what? I think the players might even be more motivated.
Hmm.
Right? Like when
Yeah.
I did the misdirection, sending the players one way while we did another thing, the players might have been a little upset with me, Justin. I don't know. You'll have to ask Taylor yourself. Send us an email. So you want to be at dm@gmail.com.
I wasn't
But
happy, gang.
but also probably some of that anger could be redirected towards
Mhm.
the villain, the actual villain,
Yeah, yeah.
not the one who created the villain,
AKA
but
Justin.
the actual villain. Yeah, whatever. So like, I just think you got to have your villain succeed a little bit. Otherwise, are they even a threat?
Right.
Right? Trump is a fucking moron. And we could badmouth him all day. We could talk about how there's an alleged scandal of him pooping his pants. We could talk about that. We could talk about the hours of footage I've seen of people sitting behind him at conventions and at rallies making stinky faces. We could talk about that. How about how there's former people who said that he has to wear diapers? And coming from the sponsors of Depends, the people who are sponsored by Depends, and this man
Right.
has the
We know
audacity to poop
diapers.
his pants
Yeah.
as the president, we could talk about that. But that would undermine all of the evil, heinous shit that he has done because, unfortunately, he's in office because he won. So even a
Right.
fucking idiot, that's why he's still a villain, right? If he had no power, if he was just yelling, if he was still just a real estate racist,
Mhm.
then it would be like, okay, this guy's just talking.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I hate him.
No, but
He's a
it
piece
is
of
it's a
shit. But
problem
like, how
because
much
he
power does
actually
he
has
have?
power now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about having the power and the influence. And that's why we hate billionaires. It's not
Mhm.
just the accumulation of wealth or the fact that you probably had to exploit so many people in order to get that much money, which I think, but it's the fact that you have so much influence and power that you could unilaterally end world hunger, and the fact that you're choosing not to, or the fact that you could, in theory, shut off or turn on internet for an entire country. No one
Right.
should have that much consolidated power.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. But when they do have that much power and they're either using it for nefarious reasons or not using it at
Just
all,
hoarding it. Yeah.
yeah, then it either way, you're like, well, that's a villain. So you got to have them win a little bit, is the point, right? If they're
Mhm.
constantly being foiled, then at a certain point, you're like, what are this? Is this person actually a villain? You know what I mean? Then it's
Right.
George
Right.
Santos and
Right.
it's just like a fucking failed drag queen. And I don't know what to tell you about that. But like, moving on, what does the success even look like? Right? It could look like millions of different things. Is it fully manifesting their plan? Is it just turning some good people into bad people? That's a really interesting thing for a villain to do, to truly fuck with the party, of somehow corrupting one of their close comrades. That would
Mhm.
suck, dude. I saw that happen in a K drama and it was devastating. They took a guy who was like so pure of heart and they just like chipped the demons or devils or whatever, just chipped away at him enough and enough and enough until he turned evil. And it was like, what a devastating thing for the main character. You know what I mean? To see
Mhm.
your friend turn evil like that. Or is it just destroying hope and replacing it with obedience? That kind of thing. So lots of different things for your villains to do, lots of different places for them to be. and lots of different things for them to consider success along the journey. So again, gang, I want to hear about your BBGs. I want to hear about your villains, your bad guys, your bad gals. I want to talk about them. So send us an email at soyouwannabeadm@gmail.com so that we can talk about these villains maybe on our next episode. If it's cool enough, might talk about it. So now, gang, it's that time of the week before we wrap things up. It's time for Monster of the Week. Okay. This next one is an interesting one. This is the Faxa Scrimsley. Okay? Faxa Scrimsley?
It looks right to me. I don't know enough to
dude.
tell you you're wrong. I think you did.
I nailed that.
You crushed it.
Yeah, Faxa Scrimsley is a combed monster / seahorse. It's similar to, some people say that it's similar to a Chinese dragon. I think that's a stretch there. I think that just because it has these kind of frill mane things down its neck a little bit, they're like, oh, kind of like a Chinese dragon. And I'm like, I don't really see it there. But it is one of the 4 main types of sea monsters in Iceland, according to folklore there. Now, the Faxa Scrimsley is kind of a sauropod. It's pretty much, it's a long neck. It's a brontosaur. It's a,
like,
you know,
like Nessie type of deal. It's a
kind of like Nessie, except it's got feet, a little bit more feet than fins.
Yeah,
less plesiosaur.
But the neck bit.
The neck bit is big. It's got a real long neck. But it has this like frill. It has this like combed thing down its back, similar to a Chinese dragon, I suppose. But it's like a red mane, big green eyes. Now it's interesting just because this creature is kind of just chilling. There's not like it attacks people, oh, it does this or it does that. I will say that it is said to be part of a group of mythological whales called Ilhvi. And I fucked that up. Ilvli. I don't know. In parentheses, just says evil whales. And I love that. I love the idea that there are just evil whales out there. And they're called orcas, I think. They scare me, dude. Would you ever go whale watching?
No.
Let me be more specific. Would you go whale watching if you were on a pier?
If I was on land, technically?
A pier.
Like
Specifically a pier.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Not like the beach. You're on a pier that's kind of near the water, but not that far out. Obviously.
I mean, I go fishing, so I mean, I've been.
So I would do that. I agree. I would go whale watching on a pier. The second you asked me to go into a boat to whale watch, no. My sister's like, she wants to go kayaking. Whale watching.
That.
I know. I was like, are you crazy? Bro, you're trying to go Jonah on me right now? You're trying to eat? You're trying to live inside of a whale? No, thank you, Pinocchio.
Fuck that all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even on a regular like 20-person boat, like pontoon or whatever, like the tours that they do. Because I still know the scale. People don't realize the actual true scale of a whale versus a boat. Yeah. It's crazy.
I know, right? It's like, oh, are we whale watching on the Titanic? Then maybe.
Right.
And even then, I don't want to because of all the fucking horror stories around cruises.
Right.
Poop cruise? Keep your poop cruise to yourself, Carnival. Absolutely fucking not. Anyway, gang. Taylor?
Yeah. Let's go. That's all we can get into this time. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at So You Want to Be a DM, or you can ask us a question at soyouwannabeadm@gmail.com. If you like the episode, don't forget to give us 5 stars in a review wherever you found us, and check out the Patreon, the Twitch, and our merch with the link in the description. Join us next time for more Dungeon Master tips and tricks.
Bye.
Sir.
Hey gang, it's Justin. I have the honor of giving a shout out to the members of our Patreon gang. Nut Muffins, may Palor's light shine upon you. Marsavis, have you watered your flesh prison lately? Yazvai, the eternal library, where color and community await you. Molly Adeza, who gets yet another level up. Amy Rose Zero, today, don't forget to touch grass, be kind, and resist fascism. And there's Caden, Elijah, Tappy, and Linguini. Gang, we appreciate and love you. Tune in next time for more tips and tricks from So You Want to Be a DM.